Hello everybody, David from Flash by V-Cycle Nut here. I got the 2024 MT09 specific DNA Stage 2 airbox lid. If you installed one of these or seen one for the 21 through 23, it's a similar design where it just replaces the whole stock airbox lid, and the new lid that we're looking at holds the ECU like the stock airbox lid, and it has the filter built right into the top of it, so it's just a one-time purchase. So on the 21 through 23, this gave a nice increase in the mid-range and costed a little bit horsepower on top. So we'll see how this performs. I'll give you a little step-by-step on how to install it also. So the first thing we're gonna do is just lift the seat out. I already have the back seat off. You can see my data logging equipment. We're gonna lift the seat off and do the things necessary to take the tank off, which is remove these covers, which is just a couple bolts, and the little covers on the inside, which are pretty easy to remove also. So you can see I have my two 4mm bolts in my magnetic catch pan. If you don't have one of them, they're like $2.99 at a hardware store or something. Get one. Really make not losing your bolt easier. They came out of the front, and then this cover just lifts right off. You want to remove these triangle covers that are under here. There's just two push pin types of the little plastic expansion screws that go in there. So you take that off of the left and right side. And why Yamaha does this, I don't know, but they put two different types of the push pin fasteners. This one with the screw head in it, just lightly put a Phillips screwdriver in there and turn it, and the center will come out, and then you'll be able to remove it. If you push too hard, it won't back out because it's just plastic. These, you just press in the center. When you press the center pass in, it'll give some room for the fastener to come out. So two of those on each of those little triangle thingies that are off down there. I've also removed the 4 bolts from the back of the tank. And now all I'm gonna do is lift the back of the tank and remove the lines first. You can see the 3 lines here. I'm gonna just remove this vent line. I'm gonna remove the fuel pump line. I just gotta squeeze the tab and pull it off. It's just kind of hard when I'm holding the camera. And then the fuel line that goes into the fuel pump from the back side over here on that side, there's space to put a flat blade screwdriver in there. You put the flat blade screwdriver in there and twist it, and this little clip on this side will lift up, and then you can pull the fuel line right off. I'll see if I can get a decent picture of it. I couldn't really get a good video or picture of it, the fuel line, and how I disconnected it with the tank still on. So I'm gonna take the tank off, and then I'll show you. Don't get freaked out when you pull the line off. If there's gonna be a little bit of gas that comes out, nothing major, but you will get a few drops. Also have a place set aside where you're gonna remove, when you remove the tank, where you're gonna place it. So I have those 3 lines disconnected from the bottom. I have the vent line disconnected from the top and tucked down there. So now I'm just gonna pick it up from the back of the tank and pull straight back. The first time you do this, it'll be a little tight. So there's a place I'll show you where I recommend putting a little bit of grease on there to make it easier if you were going to remove it again. So lift up the back tank, pull straight back. So there is the little tab that I was showing that I pulled out. Like I said, you stick a flat blade screwdriver in there, twist that. This will unlock that, and then the fuel line will pull straight off. And you will get a couple drips of gas. That's pretty normal. Don't freak out. It'll just be a little bit. And these are what I applied a light coat of lubricant or grease to, so that this time it was much easier to take out. And now we're looking at my stock unmolested airbox. And we just got to remove the lid. So we're going to pull the ECU out. Again, flat blade screwdriver in here, and this will pop out. I'll just swing that out of the way. And then we will remove all of the bolts around the edge, and we'll remove the air temperature sensor. Just twists and lifts out. There is, on the new airbox lid, a place to put that. So when we come back, I'll show you that. So as you can see, the stock airbox lid is removed. The stock drop-in filter is removed. I have them here, and there is the new airbox lid that we're gonna put on. If you're the type that likes to use power tools or, power screwdrivers, feel free to remove them with the power screwdriver. I caution against tightening them. They're just into plastic, and they're very easy to strip. So I would recommend tightening them by hand. Removing them by the power tool, no problem. Tightening with power tool, problem. So let's get this DNA lid on. So I have the lid sitting in place. I haven't put any of the screws in, obviously, yet. You just want to make sure that when you do, it tightens down and seals there. There's a second cage that's going to go between these. I'm not going to put those bolts in after I get the bottom and the top in place with a couple screws, and we'll show you what that looks like when it's done. So the lid is mostly on. I got the metal cage on. It's going to hold the ECU. Put some screws around the corners. I got a few more to put back in, but you can see it's sitting really nice over the stock air box, and everything is sealing pretty good, so all the air is going to come in through the filter, which is what we want. I'm going to unplug the ECU to put it in the ECU holder. These plugs are pretty simple. You just press that release tab. This one, you just press the center tab and swing the bar out, which is never I can do with one hand. But press that, swing bar, clip, plug comes off. So now I have the ECU in the holder, the tie down straps in. I'm gonna plug the ECU back in, make sure they snap in. And now I'm just gonna put the tank back on, hook up our lines, and we'll see what we get. First exhaust I'm gonna be testing this with is the Toast. If you can see it down there. We're going to see how it did. I just tested this a couple days ago. First thing I'm gonna do is just test it on the dyno. I'm gonna do some street tuning like I always do. And then I'll report back on how it runs, intake sound. I'm hoping with those new kind of air intake gills on the top of it that we'll be able to hear some good intake noise, because I do like me some intake noise. And I'm happy to report there is plenty of room for that puppy to breathe. Breathe, puppy, breathe. So, all right, we're almost done. Tank is back on. Just got to connect up some lines and put these covers back on, and we will get to spinning that drum. So it's all back together. All the covers are back on. I got my baseline Toast exhaust run up there, and we gonna spin the drum. I tried to get some onboard footage of that new intake growl for you, but you really can't hear it. But you can see on when I was doing my road tuning, spent a lot of time in that 5 to 82, 8500 area where the air fuel changed the most from the lid. You can see we got really nice gains between 5 and 8500, upwards of 5 to 6 horsepower through a large portion of that. Minimal losses on top. Worked out really well. So now, guess what I get to do? I do have a Dominator exhaust here, and I have an Arrow exhaust on the way, a Race Fit on the way, and an M4 on the way. So since I do have one new exhaust actually on place, I am going to test the Dominator with the stock airbox and develop tunes for it, also with the DNA Stage 2 lid, and I'll show you those results. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to start bolting on all of the other systems that I've already tested and working out mapping for them with the DNA Stage 2 lid. I can't promise I'll make videos of all of them because it just will add a lot of time to my testing. And both I do road testing and dyno testing, so this is going to take a little bit of time. Anyway, if you have one that you're ready to send to me that you want a DNA Stage 2 lid tune for, hit me up in the comments or call me and say, hey, you know, I'm ready to purchase the flash, but I got the DNA Stage 2 intake and this exhaust, and I'll get that done quicker than the other. So thanks, guys, for watching. Remember, hit that subscribe and like button for more motorcycle-related content. Head over to vcyclenut.com for the very best in tuning and flashing and all your performance parts needs. Thanks, guys.